Hello, my name is Ted Nixon, and I'm Mary's husband. Mary came to Western Kentucky, WKU, as she would tell you, just a poor little girl from central Kentucky out of Lexington. I don't think she'd mind me telling you, she came to WKU on a Pell Grant. Her family wasn't in a position to pay for school, and fortunately she was able to get a good scholarship at WKU, and she was going to take it and just do everything she could with it. Mary would also tell you that when she was in high school, she worked on a horse farm down in Lexington, and she realized that the person with the largest car at the horse farm was the accountant. And so I don't know how many people at the age of 16 say, I'm going to be a CPA, but Mary did. She set out, came to Bowling Green, first time away from home, but it was really a great transition to her. And she was embraced by so many friends and their professors on the, at that point in time, Western Kentucky, now WKU campus, that she really felt a part of it. And it was a huge building block in her personality, her growing up, and certainly helped her be as successful in her career as she was.
Hello, I'm Gary Ransdell. I was president of Western Kentucky University from 1997 to 2017 and have had a 48-year friendship with Mary Nixon. Mary and I actually met in 1974, and I was just beginning a position as a field representative in the office of what was called University School Relations. That was the recruitment arm of the Office of Admissions for WKU. And I was responsible for recruiting students from all the high schools east of I-65 in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Mary was a senior at Tates Creek High School, and we were recruiting her to WKU. She had a splendid high school academic record. She loved her horses. She ended up at WKU and we became friends throughout her undergraduate experience, and she has remained a close personal friend for both Julie and me and our two sons for the last 48 years. Just a wonderful friendship, and we have communicated frequently, often, about things of importance in both our respective lives. So I have a great deal of respect for Mary Nixon. Mary was an outstanding accounting student at WKU, and she attributes much of her success in the accounting world and with her corporate roles to the faculty that mentored her here at WKU. She went to work for Ernst & Young, then went to PNC Bank, then went to KFC, which later evolved into Yum Brands. And Mary was huge in the growth of Yum Brands as the vice president for finance, handling most of their financial transactions, and was their controller. So she traveled the world as the Yum brand spread throughout the globe, spent a lot of time in Europe, a lot of time in China, and was doing most of their auditing of those international accounts that has made the Yum brand a global icon. She parlayed that work with her accounting skills, her CPA credentials, into great success with the Yum brands.
Hi, my name is Scott Cadlett, and I serve as Chief Legal and Franchise Officer for Yum Brands. I've had the pleasure of working with Mary since we first met when I joined Yum in 2007, and I worked with her closely until she retired in 2017. So when I joined Yum in 2007, Mary was already a legend. She was known globally on a first-name basis. She was loved, she was respected, but she was also feared. She led our internal audit function. And Yum is a global company, and that means Mary spent a lot of time on the road, visiting markets, spending time with people, asking very difficult questions. But she had a unique way of building relationships and building trust with people, even though she was probing, making them at times uncomfortable, and always getting to the truth. People loved and respected Mary Nixon. You always know where you stand with Mary. I've seen her deal with some of the most intimidating and intense leaders in the world, and she is very direct with them. She always shares her perspective. Even if it's going to start a conflict, she is not the kind of person to bite her tongue. So she's an incredibly authentic leader, really one of a kind. When Mary retired from Yum, it really was the end of an era. It's obviously difficult to move on for a company from such an iconic leader. And everybody thought that retirement would bring her a lot of free time and time to spend with Ted and travel the world and really follow her passions. It's been funny to see that, if anything, she's busier now than she's ever been, because she's taken all of that time and all of the passion and energy that she's had, and now, instead of putting that against work at Yum, she's putting it against all of these different initiatives to make our community here in Louisville and Kentucky more broadly even better. As a friend of hers and as an admirer of hers, it's been so gratifying to see how she's given back so much, how Ted's given back so much, and how much they've added to the Louisville community in particular.
I'm Marlon Cole, Executive Director of Evolve 502. Evolve 502 is a public-private partnership based here in Louisville, Kentucky that is focused on growing the educational attainment of our community through scholarships and the convening of supports to remove barriers to education. Mary Nixon has served as our board chair since our inception in 2018, and she has been a steady hand and a critical thought partner, leading us through a great deal of change and growth. And she has been a special, wonderful mentor and a support to me as a new executive director coming into a completely new field and really helping me stand up a new organization. We tease Mary all the time that she is the hardest working retired person we've ever met. Between herself and her husband, Ted, I don't think there's an organization in our community and probably across the state that they have not touched. That not only gives of her time and talents, but also her treasures. Mary is not one to occupy a seat on a board or a committee. She gets very engaged in the work. She ensures that she understands the nuances of organizations or causes. She learns about, what are the challenges and what are the barriers, and is very much a thought leader in helping work through those. So I think that's what endears me to her. She really takes her responsibility seriously and gets very involved with organizations in her service.
Mary has always wanted to reach out to others. Mary had, when she was growing up, Mary had a special needs brother, and I think that really gave her a grounding in reaching out and helping others. A very supportive family. Her mom is 96 years old and still here today, and worked at the Kentucky Horse Park gift shop till she was 91, but always was helping people, and that certainly came through to Mary.
And I cannot think of another individual which has had a greater impact on Metro Louisville than Mary Nixon. She has served on nearly every not-for-profit committee and chaired most of them, whether it be in education or the arts or nature or whatever the case might be. She provides incredible leadership, and her skills in finance provide an invaluable strength to the not-for-profits which she has led. And the same thing with her role with the University of Louisville as chairman of their board of trustees. So her business acumen, her penchant for service, her commitment, her impact is immeasurable across the corporate and not-for-profit sector in Louisville and beyond, across the Commonwealth.
Mary's one of a kind. There's no one else like her in the world, certainly no one like her within Yum. I'm also a proud Kentuckian, and Mary was never shy about proudly vocalizing her Kentucky roots, all of her connections, and I do think that influenced her and made her and shaped her into the person that she is today. Whether it was her time at WKU, her early professional career, or the time she spent at Yum, all of that has molded her into the one-of-a-kind person that she is today.
I recently read a quote from Dr. Caboni that he gave at one of the commencement addresses, and he talked about WKU's motto, "The Spirit makes the master," and what that meant to him. And he talked about not only making a good living, but making a good life. And when I think about Mary Nixon, I believe she embodies that. Not only was she successful in her own education, in her professional career, and made a good living for herself and her family, she is truly making a good life through her service to community. And I can't think of anyone more deserving of this distinguished honor as a distinguished alumni of WKU.
She embodies all the things that we look for in our membership in the Hall of Distinguished Alumni, and she is most deserving of this honor.
When I look at awards such as this Distinguished Alumni Award, I think what I look to and look for are people who can be good examples of what you would like your alumni to do in years going forward. Not that they've just done good things in the past, but people can look at this person and say, this is somebody I can respect, and this is somebody, if I could emulate them or emulate part of what they do, then that would be a good thing. And I think Mary embodies all of it. As I said, she's driven, maybe some would say to a fault, but and she's committed and very competitive. And so anything that Mary does, she puts 110% into it. And that goes back to when she graduated from WKU and became a staff accountant from day one, to when she was CFO of PNC Bank, to when she was all of the projects that she had at Young Brands, and even today. And so you have somebody who cares. They care about people, and they care about bringing people with them. So it isn't just about the ends, it's about the means as well. And so I think she's just a wonderful example for students coming up through the university. If they learn about what she's done, where she came from, what she has done, and what she will continue to do, what she will continue to accomplish, I think it's a roadmap for somebody to say, if I work hard, my background, she did come from a wonderful family and a lot of support. Her grandparents were professors at the University of Kentucky. Her mom went to the University of Kentucky as a cheerleader, so she has a strong education background. But she took that strong education background, she came to WKU, and I think now she's just multiplied it tenfold to be the kind of a person who can use what she's learned and can use what her environment has taught her to really help other people. And right now her focus is education, and 5 to 10 years, who knows what it'll be, but I can almost guarantee you it'll be something.